Hey Danielle, how are you? Thank you for joining me on this evening. Hey there, Joetta. God bless you. How are you? Thank you for joining us on this evening. We are going to be discussing something that is really paramount, and that is the identity crisis that come with being with the narcissist. And many of you definitely know about that. And if you ever came into a crisis and had to get that part of your life back, it was quite tremendous. And it was a lot of work. And those of you who paid the price, I commend you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because those of us who've been involved know what that is like. Your identity is your concept of who you are. It is your very person. And when you are dealing with a narcissist, one of the first things you usually lose is yourself. Uh, Let me get this right here. Hold on. Let's see what I did with that. Here it goes. There you go. Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. I appreciate you so much. When you lose your person, you have nothing left. I mean, you don't know who you are. You're walking around like a shell. And some of you said, I feel like that. I feel like I'm just a shell breathing. My goals are gone. My plans are gone. The plans I have for my life, I don't even feel like doing them. I don't even feel like fighting anymore. You said, I'm just existing. Well, the thing about existing is there's still a chance for you to live. Because as long as you got breath, you got another opportunity toward life. You got another opportunity to live. You got another opportunity to become. Just because you was in a traumatized situation doesn't mean life ends. And we're going to talk about that. When did you notice that you lost yourself? And what did it mean to you when you lost yourself? Okay. There you go. Let's start talking. Let's talk to those who have been through it. Let's talk to those who God has brought out. Let's talk to those who are in it and want to come out. And you don't know how to come out. We did a program called Trauma Bonding, the power of trauma bond. And we did this on Clubhouse. You can always go back. We did the replays. You can go back to the replays. That will assist you. When you are trauma bond, it captures your will. It locks your will up and give you an inability to move about. You have to get a source stronger than what has captured your will. What is stronger? Positive ideas, positive support, Christian ethics. You need a power source that's greater than you are. That's why it's good to have a therapist and a good life coach. A therapist makes the difference because they can offer techniques that a life coach is not legally permitted to do so. But there's a lot of techniques that a physical therapist can give you to help you go through some of these trauma mechanisms. But a good life coach, after all of that, lays a pathway for you to walk on. They give you a directive. They shift your mindset to a positive overview where you can see farther down the road than what you saw before. You can actually see a light at the end of the tunnel. But when you lose your identification, nothing seemed real. It all seemed like going through a maze. It seemed like you're just existing. It seems like being in a movie, and you know the movie isn't real, but it's playing out in real time. And you are the main character. And you're playing out, but somehow the reality of it is not connecting. When you connect the reality, then you are connecting the directives. When something hurts, it's not, you got permission to leave it. When something hurts, when you are hurt by somebody, give yourself the permission to leave. Don't stay there and hurt, because the hurt ceasing is not guaranteed from a person who don't care. In order to change, you need somebody who cares, somebody who's willing to change, somebody who wants to change, somebody who wants your best. So they change for you. But when you got somebody and it's all about them and they could care less about you, change is not inevitable. Change is almost impossible, because there's no reason to change. They don't feel the need to change, and you don't have the pressure for them to change. Then they stay the same. Hello, Tanya. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about when your identification is so enmeshed in the narcissist, but you can't leave. The displacement makes you feel like an outsider in your own life or family. It does. And I like the way you put that, because can you imagine feel like an outsider in your own life? You are living your life, but yet you feel like an outsider. You feel like your body has been invaded by an alien. And when you look in the mirror, you don't even know who you are. You seem so far-fetched, so far. You got this longing, faraway look in your eyes, like you're not even there. You know you can be so traumatized until you live a life of existing instead of living. She said, I have lived this for 28 years of marriage. Wow. Tanya, are you still with him? Are you still with the person? Or have you been free? Danielle said, you feel like your presence doesn't even matter. To them, it doesn't. To them, it does not. What matters, when you matter, you're doing what they want you to do. That's when you matter. She said, I am at my mom's. I am at my mom's. Wow. Are you all headed for a divorce, or what is going on with you? What is going on with you? And how long? She said she was in that marriage for 28 years. Wow. Florida. So are you planning to leave him and start over, or are you planning to go back? What are your plans? There is a diagnosed narcissist, and let me see, if I can find him. And the one thing he say, if you ever go, leave and don't come back. Leave and don't look back. He said, because we're not given to change. We're given to pattern. Find a new life one day at this time. Yeah. Tanya, you need a good support group around you. She said, when there are a lot of manipulation techniques at work, at the same time, it can be very overwhelming at times. It can be. You know why? Because usually the narcissists get you in your emotions. Yeah. They get you in your emotions. And when they get you in your emotion, they can cause confusion, because they want to get you away from thinking. They want to get you away from your wisdom. They don't want you to think about what they're doing. They want you to think about what you want from them. So usually at the time they're ghosting you or discarding you, they usually throw in a love bomb to keep you there. They usually throw in a love bomb to keep you there. And you cannot stay there. When your life is at jeopardy, your mind is not at rest, and you know it is not for your good, you're being torn down little by little, you have to protect yourself. She said, I appreciate the validation. Yeah. Ernestine, good evening, Ernestine. How are you? You have to know that you know. And see, once you've been with the narcissist a while, you're so tore down. This is why you need a good support group. We come on Clubhouse every Tuesday at 7:45 Pacific Standard Time, 10:45 Eastern Time, and 9:45 Central. So this will let you know your location every Tuesday. And we have an auditory house with different people testimony, different people stories, and they will help you. And then we can refer you to resources. We can refer you to the right right life coach, or help you get the right therapist. When you have been in a marriage, Karen on here was in a marriage for 33 years. You've been in a marriage for a while, and it takes time to get yourself together. It takes time to pull things together. She's all I can say is I'm exhausted from fighting for one place with them. She said, trying to refocus on claiming my rightful place within myself. That is a serious fight, Danielle. When God clear you, why would you go back? Why would you go back to harm? Why would you go back to danger? Why wouldn't you stay out of hurt, harm, or danger? Why wouldn't you? That's why we talk about no contact. When you're free, if you break that no contact zone, it's going to hurt. It's going to cost. Because you got the same person that caused you to want to leave in the first place. Now is really bad because they're going to trip you out as much as they can, because they know you have the propensity to leave. It does not work. It does work in Clubhouse. It's a good place to be. All of her platforms are good. Yeah. You see? And so when you leave out of 28 years, it's going to take you a minute just to come to yourself, to realize what you've been through, to realize what happened. Life coaches are there to strengthen you, encourage you, guide you, listen to you, and they will help you lay out a life plan for your life. You're so used to, when you're with a narcissist, your life being managed. But now you have to manage your life. You have to have a directive of your life. You have to yield to God, to let God lead you if you're a believer. And the Bible says he will lead and guide you into all truth. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You have a right for freedom. You have a right for liberty. You have a right for expansion. You have a right to grow. And growing is an absolute necessity in order for your identification to be locked in. Because once he go after your identity by constantly telling you what you are not, constantly telling you what you're doing wrong, shifting the blame, saying it's your fault. She said, it's not me contacting them. It's them contacting me. Don't respond. Yeah, don't respond. You can't respond. Let them leave. If you don't want to delete them from your phone, especially if it's a family member, you want to always make sure they're okay, but you know you need to go no contact. Let them leave a message, and you determine through that message, because sometimes they'll lie like they sick, and all they want to do is break the no contact order. Because if they do it and they break the no contact order, that lets them know there's other things they can do to enlarge you in your gift spectrum, to make you feel obligated, to manipulate you. There is a reason why we go no contact. We just have to remember, Because when you are empathetic, you forgive easily, you return. Because you want to help the whole world. You can't help the whole world. And you can't go back to pain. You have to dismiss that. Your body has adjusted itself to the torment of another person. Your brain has adjusted itself to acclimate the torment of another person. Where you make yourself the last. You are insignificant and you don't matter. She said, download the Clubhouse. Yeah, Karen is giving you how to download the Clubhouse and how to make sure you get the Clubhouse. But you want to be there on a Tuesday morning where you got all of these professionals on the forum, and they can direct you, they can lead you, you can get their number, get their information, and you can pursue them on a farther scale. But you can't lose your identity. Because once you lose yourself, you have nothing. If you lose you, you won't fight for the kids. There's nothing to fight for. You have to keep you so you can exist beyond the scope of this torment. You can exist beyond the scope of this happening. You can't heal unless you conquer this, unless you win over this. And this always wait for you. Sister, I wasn't even looking for this channel. She said, just happened to click on it out of curiosity. Divine intervention. If there be was. If there ever be one. Yeah. You know why, Tanya? God is fighting for you. And he led you to this channel. Because everybody on this channel have a personal experience with some of the things that you can say, some of the things you talk about, some of the things you think people have told you you're crazy. You're not crazy. You just had an experience. And you're not by yourself. In this room, you know what you're going to find? You're not alone. There's a lot of people who have went through, a lot of people who gave it everything, hoping that it will work. A lot of people who said, if I stay longer, if I give more, if I fix him his favorite meal, if I do that, not to a person who do not want to change. When people don't want to change, there's nothing you can do for them. Because everything they want is manipulative. And it has nothing to do with you. They want what they want, whether you get anything out of it or not. And it's sad. It's really sad. Life grows beyond personal experience. And that's why I tell anybody, educate yourself. Make sure that you bring something to the table. Don't come to a table that's made up. Bring something to the table. Bring something to the table. Let them know you have value. I'm bringing my value in here. Until the narcissists really don't matter because they're grandiose. Who matters is them. What matters is what they want. Let's keep thinking on this subject. Your identity. Losing it. The longer you stay, the more you lose it. You lose your identity. You don't know who you are. You give up who you are to love someone. Then you find out their inability to love you because of how they treat you. She said, I am an empath. Of course, they love empaths. They call you the juice machine. Because anytime the narcissist wants to juice, he comes to you. Empaths are loaded emotionally, they're loaded. The empathy, they're loaded. Trying to rescue, they're loaded. To give the narcissist attention. That's why the narcissists love empaths. They love them. And if there's anything they want in their life, it's an empath. But a narcissist knows how to torture an empath. Because an empath always wants to rescue. They always see hope at the end of a light at the end of the tunnel. They always have hope. So being an empath is right up his alley. Because you feel deeply. And you seek to love them, and you're faithful. You're faithful. They know they can depend on you. They know they can trust you. But can you trust them? When they come in, they're serial cheaters. They are habitual liars. Recognizing that the displacement in it isn't about your work, but about the narc's control. Absolutely. A narcissist cannot be without control. That's an injury. The control helps them to manage. A lack of control means there's an injury, and now you get retaliation. When you are with a narcissist, there's a wisdom to being with them. But sometimes we're just mouthy. We want to say our piece. And that's not always necessary. I think that being with someone who's physically abusing you, it's not tolerable. But once you go no contact, you have to stick to that. Some people say that doesn't count as cheating. Cheating is cheating, and you cannot fabricate it. You cannot excuse it away. Cheating is cheating. And when a person cheats, they're cheating. You don't ever make up an excuse for them, and you don't ever think something is wrong with you because they're cheating. You know that every day God bless you with life. So you got to know who you are. You'll only tolerate to the extent of your self-classification. Most of the time, the narcissist, he's bullying you to bring you down. But you have to know who you are, whose identity. God gave you an identity. You are a whole person. You have a whole thought. You can use your mind. You don't need aid to use your mind. Your emotions are out of whack because you yield to the emotion and you think that's the relationship, how you feel. And many times you can feel the hurt when you think about what you need to do. So you start shying away because you're not ready to do it because the trauma bond has you glued into the relationship. And you know the relationship has been over 8 years ago. So you're just going through the motions. You don't want to hear what the people have to say. Neither do you want to lose the narcissist because you love them. Even if it's not reciprocated, you love them. She said, unlearning how my sense of belonging and security in the family system was conditioned. Does that make sense? Of course. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That make a lot of sense. But you got to remember, anything is going to be said to keep you from no contact. Because somewhere you are a filter to things that is happening in their life. You are a filter to making sure good things happen in their life. Think about it. Doesn't matter love. When a narcissist says, I love you, you better know what they mean. When a narcissist say, I'm going to keep you and you will never leave me, you better know what that means. Does that mean you're going to stalk me? He said, no, I'm just never going to let you go. Literally. And even if you were married, that does not stop the narcissist. The narcissist is glued to you through a soul tie. You're glued through to him through a soul tie. But you can tap into God and God can untie that knot. He can break that. So, you're thinking, Krista says, when you are with somebody and you love them, you will do anything it takes to keep them. But when you done did everything you know to do, said everything you know to say, now you need something else. You need a stronger force to come through there. Because when the narcissist come on, he wants you all excited. He wants a food cook. He wants all this. And you don't have the energy because of how you're dealing. And when you are dealing with the narcissist, you got to be wise how you deal with them, especially those who can get violent. She said, feeling displaced is painful. She said, but it can also be a turning point. It sure can. As soon as they say those words to you, then, expect trouble. That was Crystal. You have to be stronger than what you're going through with a narcissist. Get you a good support system. Go to a library. Check out a group of women if they are there. And just be quiet. And then slowly make your way to that group. And invite yourself. Talk to them. Because a friend must show themselves friendly. That's what the Bible said. You know, when you're with somebody that ignores you, that's horrific. Ghosts you, blames you. She said, this is God kind of fate. God kept my mind until I was strong enough for him to deliver me out of 20 years narcissistic marriage. God told me that he would bring me out. And he did. He left and I did not break. Yay. So how long were you with him? How long were you with him? Okay. I applaud you that you didn't break. God kind of fate. God is showing you you're stronger than when you first believed. You're stronger. And all the stuff he's doing, it don't even matter. Wow. People, let me tell you something. When you go no contact, stay no contact. No matter what they do, stay no contact. Do not allow them. Do not allow them back in your life to cause further damage. Because when they leave, if you notice, every time they come back, it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then they make you pay for allowing them to come back. When you go no contact, if you have to erase their number, do so. Because sometimes it's the contact that will re-trigger. She said, yeah, God kept your mind. I was strong enough for him to deliver me out of a 20-year narcissistic marriage. That's what I'm talking about. God told me himself that he would bring me out, and he did. He did, and I didn't break. Wow. I should have been a completely different person if I would have stayed with the narcissist longer than I did. And it takes strength to walk away. Yes, ma'am. I know it do. I know it do. But you got to do some hard things. The Bible said, endure hardness as a good soldier. God knew that things would get hard. He knew that things would get difficult. But that doesn't mean that he's not there in the hard times and the difficult times. He's there like he was all along, never leaving you or forsaking you. All my information they're putting up now. Don't cave in. Don't give up. Never, ever, ever give up. No contact is always possible. No contact is always possible. Put a friend's number in your phone and connect it to a number in your phone. That all you got to do is that one hit, and then emergency will come right away. See, do you need it? See, do you need it? You need help. You need encouragement. You need strength. You need classification. Because many of you are not even sure what you're dealing with. Kathy. Call Danielle.
Mel?
Danielle.
Huh?
Call Danielle. But when we talk about your identity, we're talking about your person. We're talking about you, what you're going through. Like Tanya said, she wasn't even looking for this, and God just put her on here. But when you have been through something, what you have been through can help somebody else. When you come here live and people replay this, they read your words. He left me with 2 kids. I was codependent and suffer anxiety, so I wasn't too strong enough, to leave. After he left, I felt free and like a different person than I had become. How long have you been away from him now, God Counterfeit? How long have you been away from him? How long have you been away from him, God Counterfeit? Because you said he left you, so he hadn't returned, right? And what are you and the children doing right now? Do you have a good support group? Are you surrounded with strong women that can help you? Do you have any connections? You can write me at destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. and I can read your email and maybe refer you to some sources, some resources that can help you, and find resources in your location. So make sure you tell me your location, tell me where you are, so we can get those resources to you. And if you was codependent, do you have a job now? God kind of faith, or how are you doing this? Because obviously he didn't leave you with anything. So how are you surviving? Are you working now? Do you have family that can assist you, that he is not attached to you? So make sure you write me. Danielle just put my email address up, Destiny Helper 12S. Make sure you put that 12S on the end of there. Destiny Helper 12S at gmail.com. There is help, but I mean, it's not easy, but it's never easy. The most dangerous time is when you leave a narcissist and they know you're leaving. Because a narcissist, some of them can hurt and even kill. So make sure you keep quiet about what you're going to do. That's not something that you communicate. And Karen, could you put the number up for the domestic violence and this, what information should be connected to that? Karen's going to put that up, because sometimes these people can help you when you get out. And if you have a caseworker, make sure your caseworker does their job, because there's a lot of resources for domestic violence victims, and you can realize that this is a domestic violence situation. It don't have to be physical violence to be domestic violence. It can be emotional violence. That's why I love for you to come on Clubhouse on Tuesday at 7:45 Pacific Standard Time, 10:45 Eastern, 9:45 Central, because you can hear these different stories and what can be done. Be sure to share the video so it can reach others who need to hear. Absolutely. Absolutely. But God kind of faith, you got a team of women here, and these women are super awesome. Karen, Danielle, myself. Super, 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 super awesome. And we're here to help you find the help you need. But you got to make moves too, so that we can do what we need to do. Because there are resources available to you. There are groups available to you. There are people available to you. There are people who understand your story. Not everybody think you crazy and elusive. No. We know the real happenings of this transactionship, because it's not a relationship. It's something you can't even relate to. And so we will assist you and help you get on your feet, help you if you need to be removed. We can give you some information for that. Know that there's help for you. When you lose your identity, you lose everything. It's like losing a high-ranking classification. She said, leave a comment. Would love to hear from you. Yes, thank you so much. But let me tell you something. There is a way out. You don't have to stay. Karen was there for 33 and a half years. Karen, write down those 33 and a half years, how it didn't help, how you still had to build, you still had to strengthen yourself to leave. And then after you left, you still got to regurgitate the beginnings again, your life again, especially if you have little children. See, and you know what? How old are they? And I think that was Tanya. Tanya had children. Excuse me. But faith, let me tell you something. It is not over. God kind of faith, it is not over. Now, are your kids small kids, or are what? How old are your kids? Are they little children? Hi, how are you? God bless you. So, how old are your kids? Ecclesia, how are you? Thank you for joining me again. How old are your children? She said she got 2 children and he done up and left. And the thing that's what's bad about it, when you got codependency, they know you got codependency. Why would a person that love you leave you with codependency and they know you depended on them? Because they don't care. When you have serial cheaters, they don't care. You have a person who lack sympathy, they don't care. Lack empathy, they don't care. So what you got to do now is get up. You got to get a plan for your life. You got to get a plan for those children. If they're small kids, they're going to need you to rise up on their behalf. Now, Karen is given the National Domestic Violence Hotline. 1-800-799-7233 or 1-800-SAFE. I'm missing something. It isn't all. 1-800-799-SAFE. 1-800-799-SAFE. Safe. And you know what? Talking about the domestic hotline. This is why we do these rooms. For safety. For strengthening. For growing. For expanding. Your identity is like your credentials. There are some places you can't even get into without credentials. You got to be able to verify your information. And how you verify your information is with your identity, your ID card. She said, that's the reality to accept. They don't care. They won't change. Get that. She said, get that part. She said, and you are on your way to some real healing. That's the truth. Local domestic violence advocate, help with education, local resources, assistance, local resource and assistance with court restraining orders. And see, she's already out. She said, that's the reality. Then yes, you got to accept it. They don't care. They don't care about themselves. Everything they do is about them. And if you've been with them long enough, nobody has to convince you. She said, yep. She said, radical acceptance helped tremendously. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's hard to be with somebody who don't care. It's hard to be with somebody who don't even feel. They don't feel what you're going through. They feel what they're going through. They don't know what you're going through. They know what they're going through. And the one thing you don't want to do is to lose who you are. When you get life again, that's the first thing they're going to ask. Your identification. Who are you? What do you want? When you have lost who you are with somebody who don't care, honey, get up. Get your identification back. Get old pictures. Look at old pictures. Get old journals where you used to write. See how you were then, and then look how you are now. Talk to friends and ask them, how have I changed? She said, I was almost at the supernova point, and it terrified me, so I didn't go there. We're going to deal with that. I'm doing another evolution of the impact the second week in November. And we're getting ready to put up an event so you can start registering. and the room is going to be $75. So make sure you register for it. She said to hear their nonchalant, okay, show exactly who they were. You know, sometimes it can take things over and over and over again because we got a problem letting people go. And trauma bond will not allow you to let them go. Anytime you take a poisonous snake in your breast, you're going to get bit. That's the way that works. Anytime you live with someone who don't care, you're going to lose yourself. And if you lose yourself, what are you going to give to your kids? What gift can you identify yourself with? Most of you, for those who are going to do the replay, some of you have even quit your jobs. And they kept their jobs. And you can't even trust them. How are you going to depend on them? They're not going to be there economically. She said domestic violence. Karen said domestic violence is more than physical abuse. It's verbal, emotional, and psychological. Absolutely. And Danielle said, I sensed they felt like they had taken me to that point, the edge. And they felt about of satisfaction. I heard it in their voice. Let me tell you, people usually, a person with sympathy or empathy feels sorry when you're in pain. And they want to look for how they can help. A narcissist don't feel sorry. He feel like you deserve that pain or you wouldn't have it. Are they going to offer help? No, they're going to take the knife and drill it in deeper. She said, journaling is an absolute must. It is so helpful. Yeah, because you're taking your thoughts and your feelings and you're writing them out. And it's almost like you talking to you. And when you write, your mind reads it, so it's like talking out loud, even though you're not saying anything. Journaling is good. It releases all of this pent-up emotions. It lets you know. Because when you journal, a lot of times you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It don't look so bad when there's a system of communication. It's when the communication ceases, when the communication stops. You have no release valve. See, and when you lose your identification with a narcissist, what you lose, they want to pick up. What you no longer have, they want to pick up. They want to gain what you are losing. Because to them, that's increase. Your loss is their increase. Your loss is their strength. Your loss is their manipulation. Letting them know that they are doing it. You cannot lose your identification. Your identification, it marks you. It locates you. People can research you through your identification. When I show my identification, they see me according to the identification. People know who you are by your identity. And when you lose that, what are you going to have? How are they going to know who you are? How are they going to be able to get in contact with you? When you adjust yourself according to another person, you absolutely lose what you are. Felicia said after 3 years of being out of that situation of no contact, the ex-narc had the nerve to send a request for money on PayPal and asked why did I desert him. I had no response and I hit the block button. Ooh, girl, you did good. Yay. If I had not survived the heart attack, I know now they would have considered it a win. Yeah, unfortunately, many states and other countries give restraining order. That's cluster B free, Karen. Yeah, I hate you had to go through that, but that must have been a learning ability. Because even after the event is over, the residue is still there. You have to always be careful. You can't stress yourself out too much. You have to delete when the stress are mounting. You can't let that cortisol hit your system, hit your brain, then to your stomach. You cannot. You can only do what you can do, and what you can't do, you can't do it. Bottom line up front. Then yes, I understood. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I'm going to tell you something. If you ever have domestic violence and we're online, burst through the line and say, help, I'm in a domestic violence situation. And we will begin to guide you. Especially when you know that your life can be in danger. Especially when you know that he's unreasonable. And he's picking up that you're getting tired. They know when you're getting tired. They start hanging around the house a little bit longer or more. They start doing things they wasn't doing. And you know when you are reaching the end of the rope, and so do they. Change is not change till you change. Well, we're less than 5 minutes. Let me tell you something. You can make anybody change. All you can do is love them, be faithful to them. They cannot reciprocate that. You have to be wise. You got to stay a step ahead. Get you a support group. Get you a good church. Not religion, church. Bible believing church that loves God. And you feel comfortable going to that church. Or you're going to need spiritual guidance. You're going to need spiritual deliverance. And it's not impossible. Believe me, it's not impossible to change. You change, not them. It's not impossible for you to change. Make sure you reach out to me, destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. And I want you to meet me back here next Wednesday. Write me, destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. Talk to me. Give me your information. Leave me your information so that I can write you back. I can call you back. And then meet me here next Wednesday, where we're going to go a little bit deeper in the identification crisis. Meet me Tuesday on Clubhouse, 7:45 Pacific Standard Time, 10:45 Eastern, 9:45 Standard. Thank you so much for your testimony, because this is not an easy relationship, and I know many of you think people don't understand. But as you stay on this line, you're going to see they understand more than you know. All right. God bless you, and I will see you next week. Remember to write me. My email is up. Leave your information, and I'll get back with you. God bless you. I'm Helen Sattler, your destiny helper.